Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Movies Be Like podcast.
I'm Miranda.
And I'm Ryan.
And today, we're going to be discussing movie musicals. Shoo-wop-bop-boo-dee-doo.
Scooby-Doo bow.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And all the dancing, too, you can't forget.
Of course.
We have 3 new films over here. Well, they're not new.
They're not
at
new.
all.
At all.
They're from the previous century.
Yes.
They're from the 20th century.
Yes, we're going to be discussing Singing in the Rain.
And Grease.
And Little Shop of Horrors. But we're going to be discussing that one with a special guest, Casey Boyden. Our friend Casey Boyden is going to be joining us when we talk about Little Shop of Horrors. He's going to bring some fun facts, some fun little things to discuss, but that'll be coming soon.
He's such a wonderful man. I'm very excited.
I'm excited too. So Ryan, how you doing?
Oh, I'm good. Well, as you notice that I don't have a beard anymore, if you're watching it on YouTube, because I had to shave for the...
He had to shave to be Seymour.
I had to shave to be Seymour. And I had grown that out for like a month and a half. Mm-hmm. The longest I've ever done that.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It was worth it, I think.
I think I look...
With the beard, you didn't look like Rick Moranis.
I absolutely
Without
did not.
the beard,
I have a picture before and after.
You look exactly like Rick Moranis.
Yeah.
Except just tall.
The lips are more accentuated.
The lips. Yeah, you gotta have those classic Rick Moranis lips.
I have big Rick Moranis lips.
Yeah. Alright.
How are you, Miranda?
I'm fine.
Okay. Miranda, go on.
I only have a couple more weeks of school left. Of a semester left. Which I'm very excited about because everyone's very worn out from watching 8 new movies a week and...
Well, you were telling me about like how in the beginning of the semester everyone's cameras were on. And
yeah. Now everyone's cameras are off and no one's talking because everyone's just so tired and doesn't want to be there anymore. You just get worn out of signing into Zoom every day.
It's the same thing with my classes. I mean, unless they like force you to have the cameras on, where like, well, participation points if you don't.
Yeah, we're not here to talk.
We're
about
not here
this.
to talk about Zoom school, but
Let's
we all know how it is.
The movies, okay? Yeah. So spoilers ahead for if you haven't seen Singin' in the Rain, 1952.
Grease.
Oh my God, Grease from 1978, or Little Shop of Horrors from 1986. Then,
don't listen.
Just listen or don't listen. Just know that's gonna get spoiled for you. But on YouTube, we will have those little separator things that can take you to when we discuss certain movies. So that way, if you've seen some of these films, but not all of them, you can skip to the ones that you have seen. All right, so let's get right into Singing in the Rain, 1952, a movie that was released in the 50s, but takes place in the 20s. The 1920s, when Hollywood was making its transition from silent pictures to talking pictures. Which is a very, groundbreaking time in Hollywood, of course, because we still use talking pictures today.
And they thought it would never catch on.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Singin' in the Rain was actually written for the screen. It was not adapted from a stage play, which was unusual, I guess.
For a musical, at least? Or
yeah,
just for anything?
Because most musicals are made on the stage first, and then they're made into movies. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that was the norm in the 50s, but like today, it's more normal for a musical to be put on the stage first and then made into a movie after that. And about 30 years after its release, then it became a stage musical as well.
Took 30 years.
Yeah.
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 I mean, I don't really have an opinion on how long it takes.
So, Singin' in the Rain came out in 1952. It came out a year after An American in Paris, which was a very famous Gene Kelly movie in 1951. And it was actually seen as a letdown at the time, after An American in Paris. And I've seen An American in Paris, and it is not as good as Singing in the Rain.
Singing in the Rain was a letdown?
Yeah.
What?
Over time, it changed. Like, people's opinions changed. But so many people loved An American in Paris so much, they were like, nothing's ever going to top this. And then Singing in the Rain came out. And, their brains were like, nothing's going to top this, so they didn't let it top it, basically. You know how you make your brain not like things as much as other things just to keep your opinion. Well, that's what everyone did. But anyway, over time, people were like, this is amazing. And then it became very famous. And then also, so Arthur Freed.
Who is Arthur Freed?
He's a producer of the movie Singin' in the Rain, but he's also the head of the Freed unit at MGM, which was responsible for all the big glamorous musicals that came out during the time. And many of the songs that they wanted to use were already written, but they were written during the transition of silent pictures to talking pictures. So they decided that the film should take place during that time and tell that story, which worked out really well because it was a time that they had all grown up in and that they were very fond of and everything. And but they also did write some original songs for the film. Freed was a co-lyricist of all the newer songs in the film. And then he asked Stanley Donen and Gene Kelly, they became co-directors of Singin' in the Rain. And as soon as Freed showed them the script, they were very enthusiastic. And they were involved in all the rewrites and the adjustments. And apparently Gene Kelly was like very irritable on set. Like
Why?
He was very scary because he was very demanding of all, like dance wise, especially of everyone, of all of his co-stars. And it's been said many times that O'Connor didn't like working with him at all. The guy who played Cosmo Brown, he didn't like working with him at all because he was always scared that he was going to get yelled at. Which is fair. I mean, when you're a dancer, you just kind of get numb to the feeling of, like...
to people yelling at you?
To teachers yelling at you and demanding so much out of you. You just kind of get used to it. But also it's Gene Kelly. So, like, imagine working with the greatest dancer of all time. That is very stressful. And amazing, but mostly stressful. Because Donald O'Connor had to dance next to him for, like, half the film.
And
that's so stressful.
Yeah, I know. Every time I watched it, I'd always be watching Gene Kelly. In the most recent time, I had made it a point to watch Donald O'Connor more
instead
of Gene Kelly.
Yeah,
because
I get it. Yeah,
there's obviously like a difference there.
But they look so good next to each other too.
Perfect.
But pretty much like Gene Kelly, like if one tiny thing was off, he'd make them do it all over again. So they would have to film dance scenes so many times. It's insane, but I'll get to that. So Debbie Reynolds, when she signed on to the movie, she did not have any prior dance experience. Gene Kelly taught her everything, dance-wise. But she was a gymnast, so she had that advantage. So she had, like, the strength to be a dancer, which is a very normal thing for, like, gymnasts to transition into becoming dancers, which Debbie Reynolds did. And
good for her.
Yes. And she was 19 during shooting, and she still lived with her parents. She, like, took the bus to set, and Gene Kelly was 39. So that's interesting, right?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even really
the 20-year age difference.
I didn't notice it on the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea that there were a difference of 20 years.
Mm-hmm. Debbie Reynolds, a very famous quote from her is, "The two hardest things I've ever done in my life are childbirth and Singin' in the Rain." Because it was a very difficult film.
How long did she train for?
I don't know, but not very long because they had to get into shooting.
I mean, you might already be saying this, but was she the one who got sick and still had to, like, dance, or was that...
I'll get to that.
I knew it.
But no. You're wrong.
I know who it is.
Okay. Anyway, she was also dubbed over by a woman named Betty Noyes for only 2 songs in the film. Would You, the one that's like, "Oh, kiss her with a song, would you, and the very last song at the end, You Are My Lucky Star, the song that Gene Kelly and Debbie Reynolds sing together when he's like, "That's the woman you saw in the picture, or you heard in the picture. That's the woman you all know and love." And he, pulls her on stage and they sing "You Are My Lucky Star" to each other. but she's being dubbed over. Which it's funny because she's being dubbed over. She's being dubbed over when she's dubbing over Lena Lamont when she's singing Would You. So it's like, you know, there's a lot of layers to the dubbing here. But all the other songs...
Can you repeat that? There's a lot of layers to the dub. That's pretty funny.
To the dubbing here.
It's pretty funny.
Thanks. But she is singing by herself, her real singing voice in You Were Meant for Me and All I Do Is Dream of You and in Good Morning. Those songs. And anything else that isn't those two songs. She's singing. Like in the beginning.
Yeah.
When they Sing in the Rain for like 5 seconds before the opening credits.
Are all of the times where they're singing, is that them getting a recording afterwards when they're not dancing? Or are they...
They're lip syncing. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, in the Gotta Dance Broadway rhythm sequence, the part when Gene Kelly is like, I got a really good idea for, like, an opening thing for the picture or whatever, like, like a pre-picture show thing, and then he explains the whole sequence of the Broadway rhythm, and then it takes you off into this, like, 10-minute dance piece, and then it cuts back, and the guy's like, I can't really picture it.
That's such a good joke.
Yeah. And, so, that whole sequence was actually a late addition into the movie. They put it in kind of last minute because there was a similar sequence like it in An American in Paris, and Arthur Freed thought that the movie would do better if it had something like it in it. And Gene Kelly choreographed the dancing in it, and he choreographed it so, Sid Charisse, the part when he sees the sexy lady in the green dress, surrounded by all the rich men flipping coins.
A coin.
Yeah. He choreographed that so that it wouldn't be apparent that she was actually taller than him. Because Gene Kelly's only, 5'8", and so was she, and she was in heels, too. Mm-hmm. So it was, a lot of hinges, and a lot of, they weren't ever standing up straight when they were facing each other. So you never really see that he's actually shorter than her. There's also censorship in the number. So there's this part in the piece when there's a jump cut.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
Oh yeah. I've noticed it every single time I watch it. And every single time I'm like, why is that there? But I never look into it. And I finally did. And now I know why.
Why?
It's because of, the production code. A lot of certain things were deemed way too sexual back then, and it was kind of ridiculous. So, in that part, it was, very risque for the time, and there was a second where she wrapped her leg around him, and that was deemed too sexual, so they had to cut that out.
That's too sexual.
So there's, this jump cut of, when they're dancing, where it just all of a sudden it, cuts to her, leaning back with her leg up in the air, and I was always like, why did they cut there? And it's because she wrapped her leg around him and it was deemed too sexual. So they had to cut it out. And you can't find it anywhere because all the negatives were burned in the fire. So it's gone.
Just burned in the fire?
Yeah, also Sid Charisse, you know how she smokes in the number? She has one of those long cigarettes. That's the only cigarette she's ever smoked in her whole life. Which is very rare in the 50s. They thought that it would be very, sexy for her to be smoking. So they gave her, and she had never smoked before. So she was like, I don't know how to do this, guys. So they had to teach her how to smoke. And so in the picture, the cigarette that she's smoking is the only cigarette she's ever smoked in her life. And she didn't like it, so she just never did it again.
I mean, I don't think you'd have a good positive experience after smoking a cigarette.
I know, but in the 50s,
that's true.
It was very normal to smoke. There wasn't anything deemed wrong with it back then, really. So it was,
doctors encouraged it.
Yeah. So
weird.
So she was ahead of her time, health-wise.
I guess.
She knew. And this is a very well-known fact, I think. But during Singin' in the Rain, Gene Kelly had a fever of 103 degrees that day, and he still did it. He did it. He did the whole piece. And there's a lot of really long sequence shots in that dance. So.
Oh my god.
And he kills it. He looks so happy, but he
looks healthy. He doesn't look sick at all.
It's funny though, because you know how like that whole song, it's like he's in love, so he's all like daisy and stuff, and like he's in a trance.
He's really having
but
to
it's
force
but
through.
it's because he's sick. It's just funny. Anyway, but I bet all that fake rain felt really nice falling on him.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
You used to say that was goat milk.
I heard that when I went to...
I never believed it.
Well, I heard that when I went to CISA, a dance program at Cal Arts. One of the guys, we had to go to this like musical theater seminar, and this guy basically just lectured on Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire for like an hour, and I was like peeing my pants from how excited I was, because he just kept showing parts from musicals that I love, like old musicals, and that's what he said. He said that it was goat milk, and because that way it would show up on the camera. I don't know if that's true, because I can't find that fact online.
Every time I look at the movie, and since you told me that fact, I'm like, they're just soaking the entire street in milk. That's disgusting.
It was really funny though, because when he said that fact, it was during the part where he was showing Singin' in the Rain, and he said, by the way, all that rain is actually goat milk. And then it cut to the part where he's facing up to the sky, and it scans over his head, and he's singing, and all of it is like falling into his mouth while he sings. And everyone in the room went, ew. And it was really funny.
What if that was just a dumb joke that he said?
Maybe. I don't know.
You believed it for like
He actually
10 years.
met Gene Kelly too. He just saw him like eating at a diner or like at a restaurant, and he approached him and was like, I loved you in this film, and it was like an unknown film. And Gene Kelly was all like, oh, you've seen that film that no one knows about?
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
You're such a good fan.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Anyway, so there's also a Rita Moreno cameo in Singin' in the Rain. You know who she is, right?
Yes.
She's very famous for being in West Side Story and for winning Best Supporting Actress for West Side Story. And she was at the Oscars the other day. Remember, she introduced, and she's like, I remember when I won my Oscar. She's fabulous.
Yeah.
She's like 90. She's still amazing and a rock star. Anyway, but she's in Singin' in the Rain. She plays Zelda, I think. I think that's her character's name.
Is Zelda one of the dancers?
She's just always kind of on set. Like, remember the part when Lena finds out that Kathy is dubbing her, and she's like, thanks for telling me, Zelda, you're a pal.
Yeah.
And she's like, no problem, Lena. That's Rita Moreno. But 10 years before West Side Story. Also, so Good Morning, the dance number. Good Morning took 14 hours to film.
Why did it take so long?
Because
Is it because Gene Kelly's harsh?
Because Gene Kelly's a perfectionist, and it wasn't getting there, so he just kept making them do it. By the end of the day, Kathy's feet were, Debbie Reynolds' feet were bleeding a lot, and you know that last shot when they do the somersault onto the couch and it falls over? 40 takes.
Oh my god.
40 takes of that somersault. Of them somersaulting over the couch and then twirling and then falling back on it and then laughing. Like fake laughing. I always thought that laughing looked really forced, and now I know why. When they lean back and they're like, ah, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah, it totally looks...
I was always like, what? This is so funny.
It's the 40th take.
Yeah, because they're so tired. They're like, oh my god.
Well, do you think they used the 40th take?
Probably not, but like, I'm sure they used somewhere in the middle. Like,
It's a lot of film.
Yeah. Alright, so last fun fact that I have. Make 'em laugh. Ryan's favorite.
Well, one of... it's so hard to pick.
Well, it's your favorite to watch.
Yeah.
So Make 'em Laugh. It steals the melody, actually, from Be a Clown, which is a song that was in a movie called The Pirate, which starred Gene Kelly and Judy Garland together. I actually danced to that song when I was 8. My first
danced
year.
to Be a Clown?
Yeah, my first year on the competitive dance team, I danced to that song. And I never knew it was Judy Garland and Gene Kelly. But yeah, it's like, it says, be a clown,
Okay.
all the world of the clown. And Make 'em Laugh is,
Yeah.
make 'em laugh.
Make 'em laugh.
Don't you know everyone? It steals the melody.
Did you know that when you would watch it? You're like, that sounds a lot
I never
like that
noticed.
song that I danced to when
Maybe
I was
if I
8.
grew up watching The Pirate as well, I'd notice, but I didn't, so. And Donald O'Connor, he should have died filming that, to be honest. He smoked 4 packs a day back then.
How do your lungs function when you smoke 4
I don't know
packs?
how he did. He's said in like interviews that like running up those walls was like so hard for him to do, but he doesn't make it look hard at all. He looked so energetic and he was killing it, but it's probably because he was just afraid he was going to get yelled at by Gene Kelly.
Yeah. He doesn't even look like he's panting that hard or breathing that hard at all, too. Only when he like lays down.
Smoking 4 packs a day. Isn't that crazy?
How many cigarettes are in a pack? 12?
I have no idea. Probably. That's probably like 48 cigarettes a day. How many smokes in a pack? Let's look it up. Smokes in a pack. 20.
20?
Well, look at, maybe it was different in the 50s. In the 50s. Well, oh, it's still 20.
20.
Okay,
I guess
so
that's just the...
that's 80 cigarettes a day. How do you have that? How do you have the time to like...
No, you're just smoking constantly.
I know, that's just crazy.
You finish one, put it
Well,
out,
yeah.
and immediately light
And
another
also
one.
back then there was no like, no smoking indoors or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Alright, so what is your favorite song, Ryan, of the piece? Your favorite song is Make 'em Laugh, right? Or to watch as well.
Singing in the Rain.
I mean, yeah.
Just
I
the
mean,
way
I
that
get
he
it.
stomps through all the puddles.
That's the one that we did our promo with.
Yeah. And I guess...
Also, shout out to my mom for suggesting that promo.
Yeah, it was raining.
It was
and
raining?
The only day that has been...
Yes.
had rain the past...
It was raining, and my mom was like, here's a suit, go dance.
Here's your dad's suit.
Yeah.
And it fit.
And it fit, so we did it. So thank you, Mom, for encouraging us to make that, because I didn't even think about it. The one day that it rained, thank God. So, your favorite song. Make 'em laugh and sing in the rain.
And good morning.
And good morning.
And Moses.
And Ryan, you can't pick all of them.
Come on.
If I held that list in front of you and was like, you can only pick one to listen to, which one would you pick?
Singing in the Rain.
Yeah.
Singing in the Rain. I mean, it's funny that it's the title of the film.
I also really
But-
love Good Morning.
Yeah. That was my second pick.
And Moses.
No, stop. You just contradicted exactly what you
And Broadway
the thought
Ballet.
experiment, yeah.
That's a really good piece. And I totally related to it as a kid because I was like, I gotta dance too because I'm a dancer.
Just repeat it to yourself before you go on stage. Gotta dance.
Gotta dance.
Gotta dance.
Me. Anyway, it's hard because we both love this film so much. That's like all we can say, you know.
What did you love or hate about the film?
We just answered that question, right?
What do you hate about the
We
film?
love everything about it and we hate nothing about it. That's like the worst question you could ask. Ask me that when we get to Grease. Okay.
Okay.
Well, who's your favorite character?
Kathy Selden.
Why?
It's just her entire personality and demeanor towards Gene Kelly and the relationship that they build. And there's it's just funny to watch her reject him and
Yeah.
like do her own thing, and then but also she's dancing and she's also kind of an actor, and she made fun of him for it. Mm-hmm. And she's just great.
It's just a lot of dumb show. You know. That part's so funny. Because she's a theater actress.
You've seen them.
But
You've
she's
seen
also
one.
trying to get into the pictures.
You've seen them all.
You've seen one, you've seen them all. She's just breaking his heart.
Mm-hmm.
She's just completely breaking down his ego. He
Yeah.
literally just lands in her car. Imagine driving
And then
and
he,
then
like-
a huge Hollywood star just falls into your car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think
my favorite character is Gene Kelly. Which is so basic, I know. But I love Don Lockwood. I also love Lena Lamont, honestly, because she's just so annoying.
And I can't stand him.
And I can't stand him.
And I can't stand him.
Can't. It's so good. It's so funny. It's funny how, like, all the musicals that we picked have, like, a high-pitched, like, female character in all of them. Like, this one, and then Frenchie in Grease.
Yeah,
and
kind
then,
of.
And then Audrey in Little Shop of Horrors.
Yes.
What is up with that?
I don't know.
Okay, well,
I think we need to move on.
yeah, let's move on. We're gonna move on to Grease now.
Oh boy.
God.
Time for me to talk a little bit.
Well, okay, go ahead.
So,
Give a little history.
hello everybody. Next movie is Grease, released June 16th, 1978, with the cast of John Travolta, Olivia Newton-John, Stockard Channing, Diddy Khan, Jeff Conway, and Dennis Cleveland Stewart.
Wow, did you remember all those names, Ryan?
Yeah, they're right up here in my head.
Nah.
Not on the notes page. Right there. Well, anyway, this movie started off as a musical in 1971 and then was later adapted into a screenplay and released in 1978. So there's a total of 24 songs, and they're all awful. I'm kidding. They're all pretty good.
They're the only redeeming part about the film.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, yeah, here's a whole list of them right
Oh my
to
God.
look at. So yeah. Do you want to talk about your thoughts on the film first? Or should we do that after I tell you the fun facts?
Let me just get it out.
Yeah, Miranda doesn't like this film
I
whatsoever.
hated it. We watched it, and I was like, this will be fun. And then as soon as, oh my God, I hate it so much.
You were in a bad mood for several hours.
I was angry for the
after
rest of the day.
After the movie.
None of the characters develop. All of them start out bad and just stay bad the whole film. They're all unlikable. They're all like the kind of people that I meet in real life that just give me anxiety that I don't want to be around.
Because you just don't understand them.
It felt like I was hanging out with a bunch of people that I don't relate to and that I can't, like, that just give me anxiety. Like, so the entire film, I was just like, oh my God, I hate everyone in this. And, John Travolta, the entire film makes you not want them to end up together because they're so clearly bad for each other. Like, every single time they talk, it's super confusing because they'll hate each other and then they'll make up for a second and then he'll try to, harass her and then they'll get into a fight again.
You remember...
And then in the next scene, they'll be made up again. And you're like, what the hell?
A good example of that is the drive-in movie scene where
Yeah.
they fight in the car and then he
They fight and then he's like, here's my class ring. And she's like, oh my God, thank you. And then he tries to touch her boob and she's like, I don't want that. So then
And then
he
runs
just
away.
attacks her and then she runs away.
And he's
then
like, what did I do? I'm
he's
a
like,
sad
oh my
boy."
God, why doesn't she let me touch her right boob? Like, what the
Because you were an asshole.
And then at the next scene, they're fine again.
Yeah, it cuts to the next scene and they're like a couple.
It doesn't make any sense. The entire film, loses focus. It's so random. It doesn't make any sense. All the characters are annoying and judgmental and, just rude. They're just all awful and they never get better. They stay terrible the whole film. I was so annoyed. I feel like I wasted 2 hours of my life.
It's a long movie. I didn't know it was an hour and 51, and it really felt like an hour and 51 minutes.
And I get it. It's a classic. So I get it if you grew up watching it and you are fond of it for that reason.
Sorry, Mom.
I know that there are a lot of people who grew up and are fond of it because because they grew up with it. But I know that a lot of people also know that it's bad, but still are like, I'm fond of it because I grew up with it, and I guess I can understand that. But, oh my god, this movie has aged like milk. It is so bad. The ending?
What, are you talking about when they drive off into the sky?
No, the ending.
Oh, like how she totally
just
changed
is like,
her character
he's just
for
like,
him?
oh, I'll just change my entire being for this man who's treated me like shit consistently for this entire film. Like, because that makes sense. Let's teach women to change for men. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And it's like, why in the film did they show John Travolta like trying track and
because he wanted to impress her. You don't remember that? I mean,
that's why he was doing it?
Because she
didn't care.
No, she rejected him, right? She rejected him for a while, and then
she rejected him because he was mean.
Can I tell you? She rejected him, so she got with that jock guy who doesn't talk or have a single line in the entire movie, and he gets jealous. So he's like, "Let me try and do sports," and he tried all of the different sports and sucked at them except for track, and then he lettered in track. He wanted to get her attention, right? Remember when he's like running and jumping over the hurdles, and then he falls, and then I guess that's how he won her back.
By running.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
And it's weird that, like, I didn't really notice it, but it takes place over the entire span of a school year. And it, to me, in my head, I'm like, oh, this is just like the first week of class. Cause, like,
I know.
Because I'm like, whoa, the dance happens immediately, and then, oh, they're graduated. Like, a sense of time isn't really, like, established very well. Things just kind of happen.
There's not even that much dancing in it, to be honest, besides like the actual dance scene at the school dance. That part actually is but
that's
the rest
cool
of it
dancing.
is like,
well, in the songs they have dancing.
Yeah, but like barely. Like
Grease Lightning is pretty great.
Well, Grease Lightning is yes, I know, but I'm saying
I know in the whole, not much.
There's not a lot because all the dancing takes place on a prop, like bleachers or a car or a stairs. Like there's never like just dancing. It's always like on top of a prop, so they're very limited to what they can do. So it's like not as enjoyable to watch. And I don't know. Just the whole film. I was trying so hard to be like, "No, you like this." And then I just got so angry because everyone annoyed me. And the ending teaches women to change for men who treat them like shit.
I guess you'll never want to watch Grease 2 then.
Grease 2 can't be much worse.
I've never seen Grease 2, but the trailer made it look so bad.
Well, of course it's bad. It's a sequel. Like, who will think that Grease 2 is good? Like, that's the thing. When you go into Grease, you're expecting a classic, good film, and then you get shit with good music, but it's still shit. Sorry. If you like Grease, I'm sorry.
John Travolta was like a year older than us in this movie.
Yes, cool. I mean, a lot of the people who play high schoolers nowadays are younger than us, as they should be, and they shouldn't be 35 like they are in Grease.
No one's 35, one person's 34, and the rest are like late 20s. But they all look too old.
That's insane.
Like, I can agree with you. They all look too old.
They should not be that old. No. I can't believe that they made a high school movie with 29-year-olds. Like, that's crazy.
They like from 23 to 29, and then one person's 34. I think
Rizzo.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Stockard Channing? Is that her name?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's weird.
I know.
That's the other unsettling thing about it, is that when you're watching it, it's like, oh, if these were played by like 15 to 18-year-olds, I could like be more okay with like how annoying they are, because I'll be like, oh, they're just kids, it's cute. But since they're all like late 20s and 30s, like the entire time I was like, these are adults.
These are adults.
I'm so uncomfortable.
Who don't know boundaries and are assholes all the time for no reason. And are just weird and very horny and sexual.
It's so weird.
Do you want to know some fun facts about the movie after we just completely shat all over it?
You know what? Sure.
Okay.
I'll be educated on a film I don't like.
Do you know the actor Henry Winkle?
Henry Winkle.
Henry Winkle, not Wrinkle.
Wrinkle.
Henry Winkle. Do you know who that is?
No.
Here, let me show you.
Sorry.
This man right here.
Oh my god, he's from Holes.
Yeah.
He's the guy.
He's from Holes. It's not. That's not what he's
the guy
known
who
for.
says, "I don't smell anything." I love him.
It's not where he's from, but
He's from Holes.
I know,
He is from
I know,
Holes,
but
though.
well, he was originally. He almost played Danny Zuko, but he backed out from like being afraid of being typecast because that's what he would have looked like. He totally looked like a greaser.
Whoa, that's weird.
Yeah, right. He almost played Danny Zuko, but I'm kind of happy that.
I like him better in Holes.
Yeah.
Good thing he was in Holes.
We already touched on everyone who that they just looked way too old to be in high school.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So don't read my facts.
I'm not reading them.
Okay. It looked like you were staring right at
I'm just, my eyes go where they go, okay?
Okay. I won't get mad.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
go on.
You know, Jeff Conway, Kinnicky and Rizzo had like a relationship in the movie, and there was one scene where Rizzo has a hickey on her neck.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff Conway actually gave her a hickey because he really liked her, and he ended up marrying her sister.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, I know. Fun fact about
Fun
Jeff Conway.
family conversations. Fun family time.
Mm-hmm. He married her sister Rona.
Okay.
Yeah, anyway. Producer and co-writer Alan Carr struck a promotional deal with Pepsi in the film, so they have like Pepsi products and stuff, but they didn't tell any of the set decorators. So they had to black out all of the Coca-Cola labels that were like in the background of the diner scene, like other things, and like at school.
That sucks.
And
Wasn't even worth it.
nope. And the Pepsi deal expired after like 20 years, or right before the 20th anniversary re-release, and they could have removed all the black that they had to put in to cover the Coca-Cola.
It's not worth it.
But they lost all of the original film.
That's funny.
So, oh well. Or lost the original print. So.
Good.
Grease Lightning was originally supposed to be sung by Jeff Conway, but as he does, his character Kinnicky does sing that on the stage version, but John Travolta kind of used his power of being John Travolta, saying, "No, it's me. I'm gonna sing it."
Oh.
Yeah, he kind of
Saturday Night Fever really bumped up his ego, am I right?
he really swung it in his favor. Yeah. Kinnicky, Jeff Conway also like injured his back during the filming of Grease Lightning.
Who did?
Jeff Conway, Kinnicky.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the part where he lands on the car or something, or he jumps on the car and he like really hurt his back.
Ow!
Yeah. And it really affected his life after that.
As most back pains do. They just have them forever.
It's actually kind of sad, but I don't want to go into it.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. John Travolta's older sister. Mm-hmm. He has an older sister named Ellen.
Ellen.
And she actually had a small cameo role in this film. She was one of the waitresses at the diner. Did you read my facts?
Really?
Yeah.
Is she the one who, like, when they put the menus over their face and then they all come over and gather around? No, that one was really old.
No, that's not her.
Okay, never mind.
When they're looking at the TV screen, that's her right there.
Oh, I see.
Well,
so she didn't really have a line.
No, she doesn't.
Okay.
When Rydell was like being broadcasted
Whoa,
and everything.
she looks just like the female version of John Travolta.
Yeah. Look at him.
They look like twins.
No, there's a difference there. They look like siblings.
No, I mean, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, they look like if they... Like, I would believe you if you said that they were twins.
I didn't know that he had a sister at all.
Like, what's it called when you have twins and one's a female and one's a male? I forget.
Are you I thought you were gonna ask when they look different, but they were twins still. That's like
No, like if they were twins, but they were just different sexes.
I don't know the name for that.
Okay. Keep going.
I know. So, Alan Carr also reached out to Elvis to play the role of Teen Angel, the guy who sings Teen Angel, and like when is it Frenchie's daydreaming in the diner of
Okay.
or looking for like an angel to guide her.
Yeah.
He turned it down.
Oh, he turned it down?
He turned it down.
That's funny.
Yeah. Oh, there was also another odd fact about, or eerie fact about Elvis. So there's a song, I think it's when they're at the sleepover, they're talking about Elvis, keep that pelvis away from me.
Yeah.
He died that day when they filmed it.
Oh.
Yeah, he passed away.
That's so sad. So if he was in Greece, it would have been like his last movie?
I guess, yeah.
Because because he was in a lot of movies.
Mm-hmm.
That's sad.
Yeah, and everyone on set was like, this is really weird that we're singing about Elvis when he just
The king has passed.
Today.
That's crazy. That's so sad.
Yeah. Well, to lighten your spirits about how much you absolutely love Grease, last fun fact here. There's a planned spin-off series musical on HBO Max.
No!
Titled Grease Rydell High.
Stop kicking the dead horse.
It's a prequel set in the 50s.
What?
There's no word on premiere date or episode count,
Is
but
it like
Paramount Television is going to produce the series.
Is it like middle school Sandy?
No.
And middle school Danny?
Wait, who would they cast? Who would they cast with modern actors now? Does the boy from Stranger Things know how to dance?
I mean, he can learn. He's young. He does rock and roll stuff.
Yeah, he's in a band.
Dances. I forget his name.
Finn Wolfhard.
Finn Wolfhard. He
played
plays
the new
middle school Danny.
Danny
and then
Zuko.
And then who plays Sandy?
Jojo Siwa? No.
Jojo Siwa?
I'm kidding.
No! I was thinking like, what's her name? No, she's too old. Never mind. I was gonna say Dove Cameron.
I don't know who Dove
But
Cameron
no,
is.
I think she was in... Dove Cameron was in like Grease Live, or not Grease Live, Hairspray Live. She was in Hairspray Live. That's Dove Cameron. She's from Disney Channel.
Oh.
Yeah.
I could see her playing.
Never mind. But she's too old now. She's like 21. She can't play a middle schooler.
No. She's 25.
Oh, never mind. She's old. She's much...
Sorry, people born in 1996.
She'd be too
You're
old to be
now.
in Grease.
Yeah, she'd be way too old to play a middle schooler.
Anyway. Yeah, so I guess we've said our takes on the film. Sorry if you really love Grease. I really didn't like it.
I thought it was okay.
You didn't like it either, Ryan.
When you really don't like a film,
You're just saying that it's okay because your mom's probably listening. Sorry, Chris.
Love your mom.
You didn't like it, Ryan.
It was annoying. But there were also parts that I genuinely found funny and like songs
what?
that I enjoy. I don't know. There's just some slapstick and some stupid joking lines that I found funny.
The songs and just like the over-exaggeration of their characters. I mean, the over-exaggeration of their characters, like when they're walking, like it gets to be too much after a little bit. But like when it initially starts, it's really funny because you're like, this is so ridiculous. But then it just like keeps going, and then it becomes like more unironic throughout the film, and you're like, this is painful.
This is painful.
This is really painful.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite song?
Oh my god, I don't know. I think I just love Tell Me More, Tell Me More.
Summer Nights?
Yeah, Summer Nights.
Summer Nights, yeah. That's the classic one.
Yeah, I think that's it. All the other ones are like, Grease Lightning's good.
Grease Lightning, except for the one word that they keep saying.
Why do they say, oh my god, wait, girl, Grease Lightning, you are supreme, the chicks will cream? They say cream?
Yeah.
That is so gross. I thought they said scream. And then when we listened, we were like, did he just say cream?
No, we were like, did we just miss that? And he said it again.
That's nasty. That is so
They're just
gross.
overtly
The
horny.
chicks will cream.
They just want to get girls, man.
What? But that's such a graphic word
Yeah,
to
no.
use.
I would never fucking say that.
That's just so weird. They should have said scream instead.
How about the hand jive? Was it?
Ryan's doing the hand jive.
I don't.
You missed
I
a
think
lot of it. They also can't even see it in the video because your hands aren't in the... You're missing, like, the first... Yeah. It's slap your thighs, clap your hands, here, 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 fist, 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 da-da-da-da-da-da.
I did the very end.
That's what it is.
Oh.
Sorry if you're listening to this on Spotify. I bet you did it with us, though. We're gonna move on to Little Shop of Horrors.
Be right back when our boy shows up, okay?
Oh my god, he messaged me. He said, I'm here, but I don't want to interrupt your recording. Come get me when you're ready. So, let's go get our boy, Casey Boyden.
Let's go get our boy.
All right, guys. Here is our special guest, Casey Boyden.
Hi.
Say hello,
He's
Casey.
here. Hi.
Hi.
I already
I
did.
know.
How you doing?
Fine.
Yeah.
I'm the guy who Miranda said that they didn't have the budget to do an ear effect in
Reservoir Dogs.
in Reservoir Dogs.
He's the guy.
I'm the guy.
When we say our friend said this fun fact about a film, it's
Yeah,
him.
it's always Casey. So this is Casey. Casey loves Little Shop of Horrors. It's his favorite musical.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's going to share with us some fun facts, some history, right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I got history, and I got fun facts.
Fun facts, all right.
We're just jumping right into like. It was weird.
Well, do you
like,
wanna-
writing these down? It was like researching for like a speech.
Yeah.
It's how it feels every time
Yeah.
we do this.
Should we talk about our
Thoughts on it?
thoughts on it first?
Sure.
Okay.
Ryan, go first.
My thoughts about it, huh?
Yeah.
What exactly do you want to know?
Well, your review said that maybe you want to be a dentist. So I didn't really know what you meant by that.
Well, I was actually referring to the role that Steve Martin was playing.
So you want
as
to be
the dentist.
Steve Martin?
You like to cause people pain,
Yeah.
And drive motorcycles and hop off them and let them stop
And
3
go
feet
like-
later.
and then have it stop next to you.
Yeah. I think it was great.
You like to fly
Yeah,
in from
I-
the sky?
Well, those are all the things that a typical dentist does.
Yeah,
So
they own-
that makes sense.
I also want a shrine to my mom in my office.
Right.
Or no, not even in my office. I want it inside
The closet.
the
In
closet.
some random closet in the
Yeah.
dentist office.
in one of the rooms
Okay.
where I operate
Yeah.
on my
Yeah.
patients. Steve Martin, his entrance is just amazing. How it just cuts to him.
Yeah, on the
driving
motorcycle.
a motorcycle.
Oh my
we
god.
all like screamed, even though we knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah. It was so good. I had a dream last night that I was watching Little Shop of Horrors, but in it, Steve Martin, it was like a version of Little Shop of Horrors where Steve Martin wasn't in it. So Rick Moranis sang the dentist song, but he sang it like in third person.
You'll be a dentist?
Yeah, no,
Oh.
it was like,
That's what the real
Oh, yeah,
lyrics
I'll be
say.
a dentist.
when he was younger. And it was really weird. Well, my favorite song in the film is either Dadu or Dentist. Those are my two favorites.
Yeah.
And I love Rick Moranis, so Seymour is, of course, my favorite character.
Yeah. For me, it's Dadu or Grow For Me.
Mm-hmm.
Which is nice, because when I listen to the soundtrack, it's one after another.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't have to skip around.
They're back to back.
Since we're talking about the soundtrack, I have a fun fact I can share about it now.
Please.
Okay, sure.
Which is that every single song, except for one, is different in the movie than it is on the soundtrack. Do you want to guess which song is the
Oh.
same between the movie and the soundtrack?
Dadu?
Yes!
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god!
Dadu is exactly the same. Everything else is like a different version.
I knew it.
was-
Because we were singing along with all the ones and then...
And that was the only one we didn't mess
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, that was the only one where there wasn't like a pause before.
God. In Grow
Yeah.
For Me, when we both were like,
Yeah.
now!
It didn't happen.
Just because it's split up so much and they add all these scenes in the middle
Yeah.
of the song.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to talk about the history of the film?
Yeah, I'll talk about the
Casey?
history.
Okay.
I mean, I have notes, but
Okay. Go ahead.
I know I just wrote them down to remember in case I forgot.
Okay.
I mean, I know you know most of this. Apparently, until 5 minutes ago, Ryan didn't even know that there was a 1960 version of the movie, the original
I
version.
think I just forgot.
Well, this is going to be really interesting to
I
you
know,
then,
I wanna
because
know.
so
How did
the story behind the original movie is that Roger Corman, the guy who directed the original movie, he was having lunch with this small studio manager, like this rental studio, I think in Hollywood, maybe not, doesn't matter. And this manager mentioned that they were wrapping filming at the studio for the current movie they were working on, and Roger Corman already knew what the sets were, so he was like, leave the sets up. I'm going to write a movie just based around the sets that are already there, and give me 2 days to film it.
Wait,
So
really?
he brainstormed the idea for the movie in 1 day. And he hired actors for 1 week. One of the actors being Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
This was his first movie that he was in.
That's crazy.
And he plays Bill Murray's character.
Yeah.
The
masochist.
dentist patient. Yeah. And the movie became a cult classic, and it was famously known as, in like a joke in Hollywood,
Yeah.
as that movie that was made in 2 days.
That's so funny.
So
I didn't know all that.
yeah, so it was
That's
like the
fantastic.
whole idea is just because there was a flower shop set,
Yeah.
and then the whole movie takes place in that flower shop.
Yeah.
And then when it came to making the Broadway show, which came out in 1982, David Geffen, who's the director of the Broadway show, like someone brought the idea to him, and he was like, "That's the worst idea I've ever heard," and he did it. Like, it's this movie that's known for being terrible, this joke in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, let's make it. And I watched some interviews, like, of people coming out of the show being all excited about it, and it's all people saying, like, normal stuff, and it's just, there's this one dad holding this infant daughter, and he just goes, "Kinky!" He doesn't say anything else. It was just really funny. I'll show you the clip later. It's really
Okay.
good. But it's like all these people talking about like normal things to say about a good play that they liked. It's just the dad with his infants just says kinky. He's looking right at the camera.
That's so weird.
It was really weird. But anyway, then after the Broadway show, I believe it was the same guy who did the play was involved with making the like, or at least like he had some kind of credit, like a producer credit or something. But so the original idea for the movie, which was going to be a musical based on the musical, it was going to be shot for under $6 million. They were going to shoot it dirt cheap, and it was going to be produced by Steven Spielberg and directed by Martin Scorsese.
Oh my god!
Like,
What a pair.
what? Which I think is just so weird that they're like, let's make this dirt cheap movie with these two like biggest like movie makers of all time.
Yeah.
Give them a very tiny budget.
Yeah.
What the heck?
And it ended up being the most expensive movie Warner Brothers had ever made, at almost $30 million. Just because, well, they recreated a block of Skid Row, and obviously the plant budget was very high.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was crazy. It was going to be a Steven Spielberg and Martin Scorsese movie.
God. I probably wouldn't have liked it as much.
Well, it's hard to... Well, again, it's like we think the movie's perfect as is, so
Yeah,
anything
exactly.
else, like, I can't imagine being as good. Or, I mean, it would just be
Exactly.
different, you know?
Yeah.
It would be a popular movie.
Yeah,
that we would know people who had
exactly.
seen it if it was like a Steven Spielberg, Martin Scorsese movie.
That's crazy.
And the studio wanted Barbara Streisand for Audrey,
No.
but David Geffen, who did the play,
Yeah.
was like, I want to cast the same actress from the play. Because
Oh.
Ellen Greene was Audrey in the original showing of the play. And that had never been done before, and as far as I know, it still hasn't. Because
Yeah, I
play
know.
actors aren't usually like movie actors.
Yeah.
But for something like this, I think it works because it's like intentionally campy. Because it's sort of like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, it's not supposed to be like movie acting. It's supposed to be like stage acting almost.
Yeah.
In the movie.
Yeah, and the whole movie set looks like a stage.
Yeah, it's like it's
So-
clearly indoors
Yeah.
with like a
Yeah.
painted mural in the
Yeah.
background.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, well, my next note is the plant.
The plant.
I have a lot of notes on the
God.
plant. So Lyle Conway created the 6 puppets of Audrey 2. this guy worked on the Muppets. He was like a sculptor and like builder for the Muppets. So he'd worked with Frank Oz before, and he'd done that kind of stuff before. I wrote down a bunch of numbers. No one cares about it. 15,000 handmade leaves, 2,000 feet of vine, 11.5 miles of cable. It's big.
What? Wait.
Well, because like the puppets are like they're not electronic.
Yeah.
They're like they have cables running inside of them to move all these individual parts.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, those are the numbers. I mean they're big, but like they're gonna be big because they built like 6 varying sizes of plant from like 4 inches to 12 feet tall.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a lot. Let's see.
11.5 miles of wire is crazy.
It's a lot of wire. The smallest version of Audrey 2, the lips were modeled after Ellen Green's lips, so that it would look like Audrey, and it would make sense for it to be Audrey 2.
That's really funny.
It's just funny to picture like Seymour like recognizing his crush's lips on a plant and like naming it after her.
That's funny.
It's really good.
Oh.
Yeah, I wrote down a quote from Rick Moranis. I'm not going to read it, but it was just funny because he was talking about how, like, when the plant was acting, he really, like, and he was acting, he really, like, just felt like it was another actor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, on set. Like, he was, like, just talking about how he would kind of forget that it was just a puppet, and he'd kind of think of it as just, like, a big, ugly guy. And he made a joke about how, like, between takes he would talk to it, but he would never talk back because the 50 people controlling it would all be on break.
Yeah.
But, like, in the behind the scenes, it is crazy because, well, I mean, I talked to you guys about this before. The 2 biggest versions of Audrey, like, physically couldn't be moved fast enough to lip sync the audio.
Mm-hmm.
So they played, for the second biggest version of Audrey, of Audrey 2, they shot at 16 frames to play back at 24 frames, and then for the biggest version, they shot at 12 frames. So they were playing the music for the biggest version at half speed.
Okay.
So all the scenes where there's an actor, like, in the scene singing with Audrey, they're also lip singing and moving at half speed. And apparently it was just a huge pain, but it looks so good.
It does.
Like all the puppeteering in that movie is great, but like whenever it gets to feed me and it's like that side view of Audrey singing, I like freak out at how good it looks.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing how good the puppetry is in this movie.
How that's such a challenge to act at half speed.
Yeah. Definitely. It never looks like sped up either.
No, it doesn't.
Like they did a really good job.
Wait, so when they're looking at each other and they're like, if you want no rationale.
Yeah.
That part, oh my god.
Well, he's not acting at half speed because
Okay.
they're shooting at 16 frames, so he's acting at like 3/4 speed.
Okay. But still.
Roughly, or
it
2/3
looks so
speed.
good.
It looks really, really good. They did a very good job with it.
That's so funny. When Audrey is like, Audrey 2 is saying her lines, I forget who voices Audrey 2, but was he like on set actually saying his lines, or was someone else just like dubbing in for him?
I'm assuming they were all just pre-recorded.
Okay.
And I mean, assuming if they had to do it with the bigger plants, they had to play it slow anyway, so it was definitely had to be pre-recorded.
Oh, right. True. I was thinking
yeah.
about that, like how in Star Wars, like with Darth Vader, they had to dub in all Darth Vader's lines later.
That'd be funny, just some guy yelling like muffled behind a wall.
Yeah.
Speaking of the voice of Audrey too, Eddie Murphy was considered,
Oh,
but not chosen.
Oh, that's hella funny.
I don't remember who's the actual voice, but I can't imagine any other voice
he's
now.
not really. I forget his name, but I know that he's not in like much else.
Yeah.
It's funny. I was looking at the director of the 1960 version of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Sudbury Voive, you look up.
I know. I'm
Levi
typing
Stubbs.
really weirdly.
Levi Stubbs. This is the voice of Audrey too.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on, Casey.
I was gonna say, that director, if you go on his IMDb, his biggest first credit is for Little Shop of Horrors 1986, which he's only credited as a writer because he wrote the original.
Who? Wait.
The guy who directed the original 1960 Little Shop of Horrors. His biggest credit on IMDb, like of his top 4 on there or whatever.
Yeah.
You know how they list the most well-known things. The biggest one is Little Shop of Horrors 1986, which he had no involvement with.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that he wrote the original.
How sad.
Yeah.
Just rubbing in his face that someone else did it better.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, he did it in 2
Yeah,
days.
he did not
He did
make
do it in 2 days.
Well, I tried watching it, and I only got, like,
Yeah.
10 minutes in, because I was so bored.
Yeah.
And I was also like, this isn't Rick Moranis.
And it's not musical and fun.
Yeah, it's like 70 minutes. It's so
Yeah.
short.
You tried watching it?
Yeah. It's on Canopy.
It's like all the charm of it comes from it being like a musical, you know? Mm-hmm. And like inspired by like a stage performance. Like the idea isn't that, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Audrey 2. Remember when Audrey 2 gets the gun and shoots at Seymour?
Yes.
Audrey shoots 12 times and it's a 5-shot revolver.
Yeah, I was counting it when we were watching it in the movie. I'm like,
That's
they
so
shot way
funny.
too many.
It's really good.
That's so funny.
No, it means Audrey reloaded.
With one of her vines. We
With
just
bullets that
didn't see
didn't
it.
Must be a deleted scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, like just looking at like the engineering of like you guys gotta watch this behind the scenes. Like the engineering of like especially the bigger ones, like the mechanical vines that are like moving around and like there's like behind the scenes of like the one that goes up its like shirt and it's like wiggling around.
Yes.
But like the craziest part is just seeing the behind the scenes of them puppeteering like the biggest version of Audrey, where it's like it looks like a factory. It's like 60 people and they've all got these huge joysticks and they're like sweaty and out of breath and they're all
That's so
controlling
cool.
like one little part of it. Like they have to just know what the thing does because there's no way they can even see what they're doing, you know?
Yeah.
It's like they just have to memorize a movement and do it to like to the music. But it's like because it's all just like mechanical, like they're just physically pulling like cables that pull parts of the plant.
Yeah.
And apparently the big puppets would like fall apart by the end of each day because of the movie. They would have to like spend like 3 hours each night repairing them
Oh my god.
and just like getting them to look good again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Part of Your World from Ariel was heavily inspired by Somewhere That's Green.
Because it's by Howard Ashman.
It's by Howard Ashman and it's the same song essentially.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. Same syllables.
Oh
Part
my
of
god,
Your World,
it
Somewhere
is.
That's Green. It's the same thing.
Somewhere that's green.
Yeah.
Part of your world. That's funny.
Yeah. They also Frank Oz apparently let a lot of the actors like give their own input for ideas for what they wanted the characters to do. Like I know for Bill Murray's scenes they're almost all improvised.
They seem like it.
Yeah. Frank Oz was just like, as long as he's a sadist and you're a masochist, I don't care what you say. Because he had like hardly any lines in the script, so that it's mostly improv for Bill Murray's
That's so
part.
funny.
And then it was Steve Martin's idea to punch the nurse in the face when he walks into the dentist
Really?
office. It was scripted
That's
that he
so
would put the
good.
gas mask on her and then she would pass out. But it was his idea, and I think it's so much better. He just walks
Just-
in.
yeah.
It's so shocking.
Yeah.
He just walks in and punches
It's
her right
so
in the face.
funny.
And then he hits her again with the door.
Oh yeah.
God.
God.
When we watched it, we forgot that Bill Murray was the masochist.
Oh
We
yeah.
were
He was
like
just
in
sitting there.
shock when he just was like there on
He
his
was like
seat.
sitting there like
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
in
all
a chair.
excited for his appointment. All
Well,
excited
and
for
because the
pain.
last time I'd seen it, I didn't like it was like 7 years ago. The only thing I'd seen him in was Ghostbusters, and I barely even remembered Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
So like I didn't even really know who he was when the last time I watched it. So we all like the DVD got stuck there.
Yeah.
It just like
It did.
it just like jumped and it was just like Bill Murray sitting in a chair and it was frozen there. We all screamed.
And then we had to rent it.
And then we had to rent it to watch the last 30 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
$4.
Yeah.
Because the DVD
I
was...
like how you were like, back then I had seen Ghostbusters, but I barely remembered it. Now look at your shirt.
No, look at me now.
We
You have a
cosplayed as them.
Ghostbuster shirt.
The actor for Mr. Mushnick
Yeah.
is named Vincent Gardenia, and he was just hired because his name has garden in it. And
Gardenia?
Is it Gardenia?
Could be.
Gardenia.
That's makes way more sense.
Yeah.
Regardless, it has garden in the name, and Frank Oz just thought that was funny, so he hired him. Did you know there was a TV show based on Little Shop of Horrors?
There was?
It
It's a TV
was
show.
a Saturday morning cartoon based on Little Shop of Horrors called Little Shop. And it's not scary. Audrey 2 is just like it's called Audrey Jr. And Seymour is like a child, just like a kid who works and he gets like a job at the flower shop. And Audrey 2 is just like a mischievous, like always getting Seymour into trouble.
Oh my god.
And I watched an episode last night, and Audrey 2 raps for part of it. It's like a funky, like 90s cartoon.
Oh my god.
It's very strange. And Audrey has eyes, which I don't like.
Wait, did Rick Moranis voice it or no?
No, none of the original cast or crew's involved.
Man.
There's Seymour, and Audrey, and some bully character.
The dentist.
No, but he has
Yeah.
maybe I don't know. What else? Oh, this is good. This is good. So Aliens. None of us have seen it, but it's a sequel to Alien.
Yeah, we've seen it.
You have seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw the second
Okay.
one.
Well, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
It was being shot at the exact same time, next door to Little Shop of Horrors.
Really?
On the same studio, literally like right next to each other. And apparently what happened was, on the set of Aliens, someone accidentally loaded a shotgun with real ammo and blasted a hole into the set of Little Shop of Horrors.
What?
Why do they have real ammo?
Wait, why?
No one...
Okay, why do they have real ammo?
No, it seems like a pretty big oversight to have real ammo on set. But apparently that happened. And no one was injured.
Good thing they weren't shooting at each other.
Rick Moranis didn't get killed.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I wasn't alive.
You're like, I would have been so upset if that happened. He was only in Ghostbusters and you were not born yet.
It's true.
You just would have never known the joy
Yeah, of Little Shop of Horrors.
of Little Shop of Horrors. So this is you're if you don't know this, you're gonna be really amazed by this.
Okay.
So this is a deleted scene from the full version of the song "The Meek Shall Inherit."
Mm-hmm.
There's a dream sequence that I know you know about because there's a blooper reel where they show a clip from it with like a bunch of columns and he's running through like this.
Yeah.
It's like a dream it's an extended version of that song with like a dream sequence where he's like being surrounded by like contracts and stuff. But there's a reference in it I think you might like.
Wait. No way! There's a Singing in the
There's
Rain
a Singin'
reference?
in the Rain reference.
Oh my god, and it's the ballet part.
But then she runs past him to the
Oh
plant.
my god!
But this is like I've never found anything about this. I was just watching deleted scenes, and I freaked out when I saw this. I was like, "Oh my god!"
She falls in love with Audrey too instead.
Well, it's like the part of the song where he's like, "Will she still love me without my plant?" That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like because he thinks she just loves him because he's like famous because of the plant.
That's fantastic.
But
That's crazy.
I was like, I can't think of a more perfect fun fact to share on this podcast about Singing in the Rain and Little Shop of Horrors.
That's so funny. I love that.
So, that's the last thing that I have.
Okay.
Perfect.
So there's an alternate ending to Little Shop of Horrors. There's a director's cut and a theatrical ending. The theatrical ending is where Seymour survives and electrocutes Audrey too until she explodes, and then he gets his happy ending with Audrey. It's somewhere that's Greenland, the places they both wanted.
Yeah.
And then in the director's cut, the Audreys take over the world and they eat Rick Moranis and Ellen Green, and they just take over the entire world. And there's like 10 minutes worth of footage in the alternate ending where they're just like taking, like people are buying mini Audrey 2s and then they grow and then they just
Eat and take over
destruct
everything.
the entire world.
And it's worth mentioning, this isn't really an alternate ending, this is the director's cut.
This is the original ending.
This is what Frank Oz wanted because
Yeah.
it's similar to how the play ended.
Yeah. But he decided to go with the happy ending because when you see it on stage, you get to see, even if everyone dies, you get to see them all come out at the end and bow, and you get to see them again. It's like closure. But in the movie, seeing Rick Moranis get eaten, that's it. He's gone.
Yeah.
And I would not be able to handle that because I love Rick Moranis so much. So
you have to remember, when you play your Blu-ray, to
Yeah.
go to the special features.
I have to go to the
and
theatrical
play the
ending.
theatrical ending.
yeah.
Anyone who hasn't seen this movie, don't rent the director's cut, and if you're going to buy it on Blu-ray, go to the special features and play the theatrical
Yeah.
cut. It is better.
It is better. It will not make you feel extremely
as
sad
depressing.
afterwards. Yeah. Well, we all love this movie very, very much. It's all one of our favorite musicals, for sure.
Yeah.
Or
One of my favorite movies.
Yeah, one of my favorite movies as well. Thank you, Casey, very, very much for being on today's episode.
Yeah, thanks for having
coming
me.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
It was fun.
All right, we will see you all in 2 weeks when we talk about more movies.
More
I thought you were
movies.
gonna reveal
We're
it.
not-
I'm not gonna
We
reveal
always
it.
almost reveal it and
Yeah,
then don't.
yeah.
We should give a hint.
I don't believe that boy has ever been to medical school. That's the hint.
Okay, that's a solid enough thing.
You really gotta think about it.
I mean, anyone could figure out what that means if they care enough to look it up.
Okay.
Thanks for listening. Catch you next time. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.